All right, guys, I am back from New York. I look like shit. I feel like shit, but I saw Dune, amongst other things. But I saw Dune. The whole reason I went to New York in the first place was I centered my trip around Dune. I saw it, and it was fucking great. Let's talk about it. Dune has been my most anticipated movie for 2 years now. That is so sad. Obviously, Denis Villeneuve, one of the best directors working. I don't think he's made a bad movie. Taking on this sci-fi epic of a novel. No, I did not read it. I do not read, but I have friends who have either read it or tried to read it, and I know how influential it is. The cast, stacked, all the pieces coming together, and I was like, this is the one for me. I have to go see this, and I prayed that it was good. I pray that I would like it. I know the reviews are mostly positive, but I have seen some negative ones from people whose opinions I value. And I've heard many times from people who love the book. They're like, I really don't think this book is adaptable to film. So I was nervous that I wouldn't like it, to be honest. And that would suck, especially since I spent hundreds of dollars flying to New York around this 1 week, which had Dune. But thank God, I thought it was amazing. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything here, and I don't even think this is a spoiler, but this is part one. Okay, it's Dune part one. That's what it's titled. I don't consider that a spoiler, but whatever. Sorry. It is Dune part one. That's the official title. And it definitely is a part one. And I think the people who might be a little frustrated with this is probably because of the part one of it all. Not going to lie. As soon as it ended, I was kind of almost a little frustrated because I was like, damn, I need more. Like, I need more. I guess that's a good thing because hopefully Dune Part 2 gets greenlit soon. But also, like what I just said, it left me wanting more. And it's been a few days since I saw it, and I need to see this again because it hasn't left my mind. Denis Villeneuve, while I like Blade Runner 2049, I'm not on the camp that it's like a masterpiece here. And I know some of my friends saw Blade Runner 2049 and they thought it was the most boring, good looking, but boring movie they have seen in a while. And that movie was over 2 hours, 40 minutes long. I understand. This movie, though, yeah, it's paced a little differently and structured differently than one would expect from like a sci-fi action movie, right? But that really helps the film, if I'm being honest. Let me give it a weird example. Endgame, right? I know there's a third act. You can call it a CGI orgasm and the last hour. I know that. But the first like 2 hours of Endgame, there's really not a lot of action, right? It's really not. It's mostly just like a drama time heist shit. And I guess you can call that heist an action part, but you guys know what I mean. There's no like superheroes just duking it out. And to me, that made the last fight of Endgame feel that much bigger, right? And I think that really worked in its favor. And while Dune is structured differently, like there's no like CGI orgasm type deal. There's not a ton of action. The way it's marketed makes it seem like it is just building to some epic duel. It kind of doesn't. But that kind of is what I appreciate because the cast is so good that the non-action scenes are still like so good to me, and just the filmmaking that you're seeing on screen is fucking incredible. But because of that, when there is action, it is like legit like jaw-dropping shit. Like the rains of like fire that are coming down from these ships and the scope of it all. Oh my God. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I need to see it again, like right now. This is probably one of the most like well-crafted movies I've seen of this like scale in a long time. Because I feel like with something like this, you can make it a little schlocky and it'll probably get the job done. This has like so much like attention to detail, like the sets, the sound design, and we will talk about those in the Oscar part of this video. But it is unreal. Now, while the action scenes are great, and they are, that's not my favorite part of the movie. My favorite part of this is a weird thing, but it is just the world building of it all. Yes, this is an incredibly dense novel with a bunch of made up words. And I know some people who will like watch a Marvel movie and they like roll their eyes or just get confused when they start talking about Thanos and the Infinity Stones and all these random made up words. And there is shit like this in this movie where I was watching and I was like, okay, I don't know what that means. What did she just say? I didn't even hear it. Can I get subtitles? All right, cool. There are moments like that for me, but it doesn't betray the novel as far as I know. I didn't read it, but from what my friends say and who I talked to at the festival, they say it didn't. But it also presents it in probably the most accessible way that it can. So that one part is good. But the world building of it all, I just love. Something about being split into like houses really just sits well with me for some reason. Whether it's Harry Potter like Gryffindor or hashtag Team Slytherin right here, or even like the Game of Thrones like House Stark and stuff like that, I love that shit. I don't know, it is so cool to me to have certain factions like that, and it is in this movie where it's like House Atreides, House Harkonnen, etc., etc., and like the kind of like almost political warfare along with actual just war and battle. It's so cool. I don't know why. This world that I'm in, that I was introduced to for the first time, I'm so in. I'm so in. I don't want to leave that world, especially with Denis Villeneuve at the helm. Because my God, that was the best part for me. You know, a shout out to the cast, obviously. I mean, this is one of the most stacked casts of the year. To me, I think Chalamet looks good. And I know my girlfriend, who has kind of fallen off from the Chalamet train, is going to definitely jump back on because not only is he good in it to me, but, you know, it's Chalamet, that jawline, fucking crazy. Oscar Isaac, my dad. I just love Oscar Isaac. Everyone in here is good. I'm not going to go through all the names. Everyone in here is good. Rebecca Ferguson, everyone. The cast is great. And you live through them, and that shit is awesome. I don't even know what I'm saying in this review. I feel like I'm saying a bunch of bullshit, but the more time passes since I saw it, and it's been a few days now, the better it sits with me. And I need to rewatch this. I need part 2. Oh my God. The term blue balls will not even come close to representing how I would feel if I don't get this. I mean, just the set pieces, I mean, every technical craft in this, I mean, it is crazy. Visually, you are like, oh my God, I need this in my room. The cinematography, bruh, stop. This isn't even like a review. This is really just like a rant. And that's how I consider all my reviews, to be honest. Like, you know, I've said many times, I don't consider myself like a film critic. I just don't. I'm not as eloquent. That's why you're on a channel called The Film Drunk. But goddamn, this shit was excited. I mean, I haven't felt this way about a movie in a while. Because while I do love most Marvel movies, I feel like there's not a lot of sci-fi epics on this scale that isn't like comic books, like a Marvel, like a DC, whatever. And it was just nice. I gotta say, it was just nice. In terms of negatives, honestly, like the only one I could think of is you might not be, gosh, this actually might sound like a big negative. You might not be like that emotionally attached to a lot of characters. There's like not a lot of thought that like, what am I trying to say? I guess I can definitely see why some people watch this and they were like, this is lifeless and it just looks good. I can honestly understand that take on it. And I actually think that might be a common thing for even some of my friends. But to me, that's not the case. While it's not like I was crying throughout the movie or felt like that emotionally attached to like a character, this was just an experience. Oh my God. I sound so pretentious. I don't know. This movie was just great, honestly. While I certainly love all types of films, I can't lie. Shit like this on this scope and this scale, they just get me excited. Okay? They just do. And I think to me, this movie really delivered on what I expected and also surprised me in ways that I wasn't expecting. And that might prove risky for some audience members who might not like it as much. I have no idea what the box office will be here in the US. I feel like the first weekend it'll do pretty good, and then the drop-offs I think will kind of suffer because of HBO Max. I don't know. Regardless, I hope it gets a second because this movie really delivered for me for like everything. I need to see this again. Honestly, I just need to see this again. I'm rambling so hard. I'm so sorry. But Dune Part 1, yeah, that's 4.5 stars for me. I'll need to see it again. Maybe I'll even like it a little bit more because, like I said, some of the terms just really go over my head with some of that shit. But regardless, let's talk about Oscars for a bit. I don't want to talk too long about it because I have the October predictions coming soon that I need to record. But I think Dune will probably be the most nominated film of this year's slate. Let me kind of go through some stuff. Okay, so I think it's getting in for picture. I do. I think there's enough passion behind it, not only from audiences, but honestly filmmakers in Hollywood who saw like Denis Villeneuve like really fighting for this movie and the craft and the care for it. I think it'll get in for picture. I think it'll get in director. If Dune is gonna get so many nominations below the line, I just think it'll get into director. Whether he wins, I don't know, but I think he gets into director. That's two. I don't think there's any acting nominees here. I think Rebecca Ferguson is really good, but I don't see any nominees here. Screenplay, I don't know because see the adapted part is weird. Is it the best screenplay that just happens to be adapted? Is it taking something that is harder to adapt and make it into a movie? Is that being rewarded? I don't know. Screenplay, I'm gonna leave out if I'm being honest. I'm gonna leave out Dune and screenplay. I feel like they'll just, I don't know. I just feel that. Cinematography, it's a top 3 lock. Top 3 lock. Greg Fraser, not much else to say. Dune is a cinematography, that's a top 3 lock. Costume design, I think for now I would have it in the top 5. I don't think that's as guaranteed as some people think, but I have it in the top 5. Okay, so that's 4. Editing, I have it in here because sound is gonna win. Sound design is fucking incredible. That's a done deal. That's a wrap. That is a wrap. It's getting sound. Okay, so that's 6. Makeup and hair, I think it's getting into. I mean, just see what they do with like the Harkonnens and all of them. Yeah, that's getting in. That's 7. Production design, yeah, that's 8. Visual effects, winning, that's 9. Dune is gonna win visual effects. That shit is done. That's done. It usually tends to go with the movie that is most like a Best Picture nominee, and here, Dune is obviously the one. Original score, yeah, that's getting in. That's 10. So that's 10 nominations right there. And I'm not gonna go through every single category into why I feel that way. But even if you end up not loving the story of Dune that much, I think you'll just be so impressed with like the actual filmmaking of it all. It is truly like crazy to me how this movie was made and how it looks and how the fact that this is even a movie, like Dune shit that I just kept hearing is like unadaptable. Like considering like David Lynch couldn't do it. I mean, this is an achievement, honestly. So props to Denis Villeneuve, props to Dune and the whole cast and crew. This is one of my favorite movies of the year. If I rewatch it again, it might end up being my favorite. I don't know. I'll have to see it again. But regardless, I hope everyone watches Dune when it comes out. I'm not going to be that person to say you have to watch it in a theater. But if you are willing and able, please do. If you're not, whatever. But Dune, come on. This was so good. I'm so happy. I'm so fucking happy like this shit exists, but also that I liked it. Because that would have broken my heart to make that trip, center it around Dune, only for me to not like it. Oh boy. Luckily, I don't have to live through that reality. Okay. That'll be it. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing. Take care. Stay safe.